Welcome everyone to Trend Micro Talks. I am your host, Erin Tomie, and today we're talking to Trend Micro Campaign Operations Specialist, Mark Standerline. Mark, how are you doing today?
Hey Aaron, yeah, I'm very good. It's not raining in London, which is always a joy.
Mark, thanks for joining me here on the show. I would love to start with you sharing a bit about your role here at Trend Micro.
Sure. So like you said, campaign operations specialist, I think is the official title. And I don't blame anyone for not knowing what that is because I didn't really know what that was. Essentially, I am Martech Ops support sitting under the marketers in the UKBU. So I spend all day playing with marketing technology, some of the great things that we have available. I also get to spend a lot of time being creative and doing things in Photoshop and Premiere and getting to muck around and do fun stuff.
So, Mark, back in January of 2023, you wrote a Trend Micro blog post titled The Value of Listening, Making Every Employee Feel Heard. Can you share an overview of what this blog post was about and what inspired you to write it?
The title, I think, says quite a lot, but anyone who hasn't read it, it was essentially, I've been at Trend Micro now for, I think, a year and 2 weeks. So a very short time, and coming into Trend and having certain preconceptions about, this is a huge company. I mean, in my experience, in my past, I've worked for big companies, medium companies, and coming into Trend and seeing how I was treated and how other people around me are treated with, I coming up with new ideas or being able to stop and discuss points. It never felt like I arrived and they're the newbie. We don't need to, like my opinion didn't matter. I felt that from the minute I walked through the door, I could, certainly in my BU, I could speak to, my colleagues, my peers, people above me, the VP. Anybody would stop and listen to what I had to say. No one was too busy. No one seemed to have things that they took as more important than stopping and listening to each other. And that very quickly passes on to you. So whenever somebody then comes to you with a problem, you instantly have that ethos that it's good. We can stop, we can talk, we can listen, we can see what's going on around us. And I think I've learned rapidly as a result of it. And I think that's maybe something I've never seen before. And I find it very unique to Trend. And it was something that, kind of inspired me to stop and write down a few notes.
Yeah, I like the part of the title, making every employee feel heard. And I can certainly relate to what you spoke about. Trend Micro is the first company I've worked at, so I maybe don't have that comparison that you have. But even when I interviewed for my role at Trend Micro, I was pleasantly surprised to find that several of the people interviewing me were VPs, directors. It wasn't just, my manager who would be working with me. Everyone, from every level in the company wanted to come in and meet some of these new potential trenders, and we were all kind of just about to graduate. So even from, making every potential employee feel heard, I can certainly agree that I've always felt that no matter what level you are, anyone from anywhere in the company wants to know what you think and what your ideas are. And I've always really appreciated that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's something you feel when we sort of all get together, be that like a European group or globally for like SKO, things like that. There's just so much opportunity to sort of learn and grow through each other. And I find it amazing that ethos is so ingrained without sort of any process or it just seems to organically exist. And I guess it comes from sort of Eva Chen down. Like if you listen to her present and talk, and I've been lucky enough to sort of be in the audience while she's presenting, you felt that any contribution would be listened to, understood, explored. It's fantastic.
So, one of my favorite quotes from the post, I'm going to read it. What does it mean to be valued? It means not merely hearing, but listening to your employees, taking their opinions on board, and encouraging the sharing of thoughts and ideas. It means giving them the confidence to try new things, to dare to fail. Why do you think some companies don't provide that same experience, or they're not able to, they don't want to, or maybe kind of how does Trend Micro create that? What is kind of the difference between Trend and maybe other companies where you don't get as much of that feeling?
I've never been somewhere where, I mean, you could always go and do things independently, but no one was encouraging you to go out and tell you it's all right. You can go and explore, and if things don't work, it's fine. Like, I mean, don't spend 10 years invested in something, but go out there, experiment, see what you can get, see what works. Like, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but lessons are learned along the way, and all of this is great knowledge. And I've never had that here in the UKBU. If you have a good idea, you now own that idea. You're in charge of it, and if you want to make it work, you can go off. In previous organizations, if you have a good idea, you tell your boss, they tell their boss, it goes all the way up the chain. Maybe someone says yes, maybe someone says no, and then it comes all the way back. Whereas at Trend, if people think it's a good idea, then you go and make it happen. And I love that. I love that ethos of go and try it. And I think it is very unique. I don't think it's something... Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it or heard it spoken about outside of Trend.
Mark, I really appreciate you coming on the show and talking about your blog post. I'll make sure that I put it in the link on YouTube or wherever anyone's watching this. I'll make sure that that link to the blog post is available for people to read. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Erin. Great to be here, and have a wonderful day.